Hi, my name is Jennifer Voss, and I did a book review over the book Multisensory Strategies, Lessons in Classroom Management Techniques to Reach and Teach All Learners by Edgar, McIntosh, and Marilu, Peck. This book is, in general, a book about using multisensory strategies in the classroom to meet the needs of all learners. Essentially, the goal of the author is to teach and help teachers be aware that we can meet the needs of all of our students using strategies that relate to all of the different sensory systems as opposed to only using and relating to specific individual senses. This book does a great job of offering strategies and suggestions for what you can do to help teach your students using multisensory strategies. It relates to things such as classroom environment. Some of the things that I use from this book, from the classroom environment section, are things such as posting posters at students' eye level, posting social skills posters. Quite often in my classroom, we use social skills posters as a way to help students understand how to interact with each other. I've also done things such as having class meetings and modeling such behavior. I really enjoyed this quote, and even though it's not an example of something I've done, I thought it was important to this presentation. Early childhood classrooms are a microcosm of society as a whole, and it is our duty as caring teachers to equip each of our students with the tools he or she needs to negotiate and succeed. Looking at the visual, auditory, and tactile systems, I found this section offered a great way for me to really figure out what systems of my students, which of their sensory systems are they struggling with the most. As I was reading through the questions, I was able to specifically pinpoint certain students and which strategies and systems they needed. They offered strategies for whole group, independent work, and transitions. Some of the things that I do with those are having class discussions. I try to use some of the Kagan strategies that I've learned at other professional developments. I've never been to an actual Kagan training, but having students think, pair, share, tons of partner sharing, group sharing. I try to incorporate tons of movements as well as having students actively participate in whatever it is that I'm teaching. I do not actively engage my students in morning meeting, but it is something I've done before. I do go through my schedule. Sometimes students need that, and that's very important with students who's going through the schedule. It helps my students who are specifically very visual and need a concrete outline to hear what are we going to do today. I loved that this book also offered reading, math, science, and social studies strategy. Things such as partnering students with someone that can help them if they need help, as opposed to just coming and asking me. A big focus in this book was on teaching students to be independent so that they're not interrupting as you're trying to accommodate and help other students who may not be independent. And I practiced many of those strategies. Some of the things that I do that I implement are teaching students a bathroom signal so that they're quietly asking to go and not interrupting the lesson during whole group lessons, or teaching them to ask a partner or a friend for help if they didn't hear or didn't understand the directions. For writing, I often do many of the things that they suggested. I do model examples of my writing. I also demonstrate and show students exactly what I'm expecting, and that's part of a good teacher, always modeling and setting up exactly what you expect students to do, and not just telling them, go do this. For math, I am constantly trying to find ways to help students organize their manipulatives as they're learning, and not just expecting them to rote count, but giving them cubes or things that they can actually physically touch and put their hands on, things that they can see, visualize. For science and social studies, I do some of the similar discussion strategies that I use for reading, and then I have students share with partners and then relay back. We do lots of different visuals where students can draw and or write. In conclusion, this book was very useful in offering strategies that work with students using many of the different senses, such as sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell, and also focusing on students' emotional and perceptions so that we are meeting students' needs in any way we possibly can. And that is the end of my book review.